Hi, my name is Danielle, and I just wanted to share my story about things that have been happening in my life recently. I work in the entertainment industry. I've worked in it for about 8 years. I've been on the casting side of it, and I've also been in front of the camera as well. I've done a lot of stuff with television. I was a professional model before I had my son. Last September, we got the opportunity to film a documentary-style reality show. And the premise of the show was to have an au pair from Finland come and take care of our baby. And they would come, film our daily lives, and kind of follow us around, and totally crazy. I had gone to my husband and asked him, like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was like, yes, we need the help, do it. And I'm like, okay, really? So we prayed a lot about it, and we interviewed her several times. There was a lot of phone conversations, and 5 minutes into an interview with her on Skype, I knew. Her name is Judith. She came and she lived with us for 4 months, and I got the opportunity to share Christ with her. It was hard for me at first to really step out in faith. I had to trust the Lord. So a couple days after she was here, we were sitting down doing our nightly devotion, and I asked her if she wanted to join us. To my delight, she agreed to do it. So we did our devotion and we talked about it, and I asked her if she'd like to pray with us, and she did, and she was so happy, and I was so happy. And then she started to pray too, and she, as far as I knew, she hadn't really prayed before. We went to church a few times, and then there was this great event, women's event, called the White Christmas. So I brought her, and I brought my mom, and it was beautiful. I mean, just everything from the fellowship with the women, to the worship music, to Barbara Grant's testimony. Everything about it just really was just amazing. This impacted Judith so much that she was just brought to tears. Just seeing this young girl be impacted, and just to see her heart being opened up to God. I just felt that God was able to not only work through me, but work through several people and several programs through the bridge. And this girl who had gone to a Christian church, but she didn't really understand what it meant to be a Christian. I was able to share that throughout all the months that she was here, but I needed a lot of help. So a week before she went home back to Finland, I asked Barbara to sit down with us and to present the gospel. Judith was a little apprehensive. I could tell there was a lot going on in her head. There was a lot of emotion. She went away from it with a lot of questions. She wanted to be a performer. She wants to be a singer, and she wants to be an actress. She was under the impression that being a Christian, we're not able to do any of those things. And so I had to explain to her that from my life experience, that I'm in the industry and I'm still able to go and do all these things. If anything, I think that God has opened up so many more doors for me, and that He can open up doors for her as well, if it's in His plan, of course. Then I think she started to really understand that living with Christ, when you accept Christ into your heart, that it just will open up so many more doors to you. So I was able to plant the seed on several occasions with her, and she didn't wind up accepting Christ, but that's okay. I'm totally at peace with that God will open her eyes when the time is right, and that she's back in Finland. And when I get a chance to talk to her, we pray together, and the seed's planted. But she is planning to come back, hopefully by the end of this year, so maybe I'll have more of an opportunity. I didn't think that God would use me to be an evangelist. I honestly thought that that my place in the church would just to be to go to church and yes, to maybe to bring people to church, but I never really thought of God using me in this way. I feel that after this experience, being able to step out in faith, I feel like I can do anything. I feel like I can go up to people and just talk about the word. It's so exciting.